this now, what I do now, is talk about what the strategic priorities are for the university and how people can help us achieve those strategic priorities. And so one of the questions that comes up, well, what does Sewanee need? I want to talk to you a little bit about what we need. And at the end of this, we'll come back to that issue of annual funds. What we also need is that annual support that provides that 5% for our operating expenses each year. If you look at the third page, or this kind of yellow page, highlighting last year and 2 months ago, we finished the Sewanee Fall campaign. The most ambitious campaign in the university's history, largest in terms of dollars, and you all saw the results, $205.7 million. $205.7 million on a $180 million goal. That was an extraordinary thing. And what I find amazing about that number, $205.7 million that people gave this university. Every penny was a gift. Every penny was a gift. Nobody had to give us anything. This is not a requirement. This is not an obligation. These are all gifts. And that's sort of how I approach my work today. I think of every single penny as a gift. We extricated the word money from our department, from our division. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about money that people give. We don't ask people for money. We're asking people for gifts to something that has lasting value and it means the world to them. That's really easy to talk about. The job I have now is a piece of cake compared to the one I had when you guys were in school. And what could be easier than to talk to someone about giving, which is the most meaningful thing a person can do, to something that has lasting value and it means the world to them. You know, I'm not sure why they even pay me to do this job. It's really a pleasure and it's a gift to be able to do this. So when I look at this 205.7, these are gifts that people give to places that care a lot about. And when you look at that number, what's not on this page, of that $205.7 million, 100% was in gifts and pledges, and 58 million was in planned gifts. So there's a planned gift component out there, less than 30% of the campaign. That's good to have more that's actually coming in, because it says more is in now, and there's an opportunity for more planned gifts later. So that number is actually a lower number than we went into the campaign thinking we might be looking for. We thought about 35% is typical. So we got a 28% in actual cash and pledges. And you're probably all wondering, of that 148 million in gifts and pledges, how much is still out there? How much do we still have to collect? Because as you know, the day the campaign ended, the economy fell apart. We could not have ended this campaign at a better time. We finished June 30th, 2008. And you know what happened from that point on. As of last week, we had of the 148 million in gifts and pledges, we had collected all but 16 million. That's great. That's really good. We have a very conservative counting method or process. So matter of fact, all those gifts should be in by June 30, 2010. It's a very narrow window for making payments on pledges. So people can make gifts after June 30, 2010, but the counting campaign, we said it needed to be gifted by the 30th of June 2010. So we've got about 16 million to collect over the course of the next 10 months. We've had a few people that have asked if they could extend their payment a little bit. No one has said, I can't do it. Not a single person said I can't do it. So we're counting on that, and we're very fortunate to receive the amount that we did during the course of the campaign and in this post-campaign period. The breakdown, you can see there, the endowment, we had a $97 million goal. We raised over $100 million for that. We hit our capital projects goal, and we raised about 22 million more on operating funds than we had expected. And that was very good because it really helped keep things moving along, and the annual fund really increased during the course of the campaign in a way that was very beneficial. So the total was 205. You can see 46 people or organizations were able to make gifts of $1 million or more. That's an incredible thing. 11 that were over $2.5 million. We started the campaign, interestingly enough, we started the campaign assuming that we needed 15 gifts of over 2.5. So the fact of the matter is we had fewer at that higher number So how did we get to where we got? Look at this. 214 between 100 and a million, 100,000 and a million. 125 between 50,000 and 100. And what I love is that last line. 18,422 people made a gift during the campaign. That's out of an alumni base of 15,000. Jimmy's number about 16. That includes school theology, all alumni, and so forth. 18,000 people, over 18,000 made a gift during the campaign, which is an extraordinary number and says wonderful things about the future. We've got a great base out there, and the future is very bright. We're just having people supporting the campaign as they did. Just quickly there, you can see on the endowment operating funds, the single largest area of giving in the campaign was in scholarship and financial aid. And of that 48.8 million, 32 million was in need-based aid. The single largest area, the one largest area of giving in the campaign was for financial aid. Our friends want to make sure that Sewanee education is available for those who can't afford it. Largest area of giving. What a great tribute it is to our friends wanting to be sure the kids get all the support down here. We also raised $10.7 million. You can see for a fund that's called the Faculty Achievement Fund. Our faculty are undercompensated relative to our peers. And we've been working on that through our operational budget for the last 4 or 5 years. We're not just going out and raising money, we're trying to do that institutionally. We have a goal of trying to beat our peers by 2% each year over and above faculty compensation. It's kind of tough right now. The last year or two has put a wrinkle in those kinds of plans. But we're committed to raising our faculty salaries. We typically are somewhere between 42, 46, 47%, ranked 42, 43, 44%, not percent, ranked among our peers. And our faculty deserve to be better than that. Our faculty are the best. And so we're trying to do something for them. We established a fund, an endowment fund, the earnings of which will go to faculty. Twice a year, we make a payment to faculty to go on top of what they otherwise were getting for their salaries that year. And a good number of this 10 million is actually in pledges or requests, so we don't have that full 10 million now. So we're really trying to ramp up that fund to help our faculty. What's great about this, and the reason I'm dwelling on this in a moment, is that toward the end of the campaign, we thought, how can we package this? How can we really get the word out here? And so we created an opportunity for people to make gifts at $50,000 or more. A person can endow a fund in honor of someone, and that fund becomes part of this overarching $10 million. Now, people can make any size gift to this fund, but to name a fund, $50,000 or more. And when the campaign was over, we had over 30 funds that were created, and almost all of those were created by alumni or friends in honor of a faculty member. And so now there's a fund in honor of John Reichman, and there's a fund in honor of Willie Koch, and there's a fund in honor of Joe Cushman and Mary Sue Cook. It's this great way of leveraging those relationships to create this endowment, and it really inspired friends to do some marvelous things for our faculty. I was visited recently by some folks at Furman who wanted to hear about this. They heard what we've done. They wanted us to explain the whole thing. They said, that's brilliant, because what better way to get alumni interested in supporting faculty than to give them a chance to honor those people who did so much to them. Interestingly enough, during the campaign, other gifts were given, not just rooms were named in honor of faculty. It's sort of created a snowball effect. Next thing you know, everybody wants to do something in honor of a faculty member. The endowment was created in honor of Brandon Potter in the geology department. I love this. An internship was created in honor of one of the custodians at Tuckaway Hall, because the guy who did this $100,000 internship named in honor of Larman, because he said, if it hadn't been for Larman waking me up every morning, I wouldn't. So, coaches, teachers, custodians, it was just this great outpouring of affection for friends of Sewanee, and it turned out to be a great development for the campaign.